Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we are in the greenhouse. It is not done, but we are gonna do some seed starting in here because it's fun. Outside is not too cold. It's like 40 degrees outside. Let me check. Yeah, 40 degrees outside, so it's not terrible, and it's really sunny. But in here, it is 67 degrees. So it feels wonderful in here. Outside, it's actually spitting a very tad bit of snow. So it's nice to be in here and be warm and not have to wear a jacket. So today we're gonna start another round of seeds. We're starting on some warm weather plants, several of them that are gonna be planted in here in garden beds this coming season. So let's get started. So I already have everything prepped. I've done all of my soil with all of my trays, and this is regular seed starting mix. I've moistened it to the point where when I squeeze it, there's not water coming out, but it will hold a form. I've filled them all up, tapped them in with my fingers, and then filled it up again so they're nice and full. And I have even made, you know what the most important thing is that I think when doing seed starting is? The labels. And I have labeled everything. I did my math a little wrong. Actually, I didn't. I thought I did my math a little wrong, and I had extra packs. But then I realized I didn't do my math wrong, and I was even ahead of the game. So we are gonna get started on some of these things. Lots of flowers for sure. So we are gonna get started on some of these, and everything we're doing today is flowers, which is really fun. I was gonna start cucumbers today, but it's just too cold outside for me to think about cucumbers. So I will do cucumbers next week when it's supposed to get a little bit warmer. The first thing we're gonna get started on is this 72 cell count tray. I have 3 things that are gonna be going in here. A straw flower from Johnny's Seeds. I have actually had these for 2 years, and I lost them, and then I think I didn't want to do them. So here we are trying them. I don't think I'm gonna like them, but I've got them, so I'm gonna try them. Some Gomphrena, and this is from Baker Creek, and it's like one of them's white and one of them's purple. So that's pretty. And then also the pink surprise calendula. So I'm gonna use it for cut flowers. There are people who like to use calendula for medicinal purposes. I haven't done too much with that just because I don't know very much about it, but I'm gonna use them for cut flowers. And this right here says these are gonna be 16 inches tall, which is awesome. And they're also good to dry as well, I believe. All right, so let's get started with these. I have done the math that the 72 cell count tray, each of these I can have 24 plants. These like to go 1/4 of an inch deep. If you hear that rustling around, I don't know if you do, but if you hear all the rustling around, it's because my chickens hear me in here. And so they're coming to the edges, like they're right there. You can see them moving around. They're kind of like, well, are we supposed to be in there? Or what are we supposed to be doing? All right, so here's our calendula. Those are really, I've never planted calendula. I bought it, but I've never planted it. Those are some really funky looking seeds. Very interesting. All right, so they want to be about 1/4 of an inch deep. So I'm gonna do my little finger. And that is gonna be 4 rows in this particular tray. And I think I'm just gonna drop, I don't know, maybe I'll do 2. Does it give me a germination rate? Nope. I'll just do 2 just because. Might as well. It's not gonna hurt anything. And if it gets too big, then I'll thin them out. And they look like dead bugs, which is a little funky. So I'm gonna get those closed up. All the while making sure that my dirt is packed down pretty good. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of that. Now I've got gomphrena, so I'll put that in the 5th row. And these say 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch deep. Whoops. This says I should pre-soak the seeds for 24 to 48 hours. This is why you should read your stuff. I didn't do that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna come back and do that. I'll do that tomorrow morning. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's gonna be 4 rows of that. And then the last thing I'm gonna do in this one is straw flour. Now I know that straw flour is good for drying things. And interesting enough, it says on this straw flour packet to only direct seed them. Pretty sure I just got one in that gomphrena, that's okay. To only direct seed them if you live somewhere that is got a long summer. So you really need to start them indoors if you want them to do well, I suppose. All right, here we go. These are teeny tiny little seeds. All right, so I just looked it up and this said to sow very lightly on the surface. So that's what I'm gonna do. I was gonna do holes because I had my mind a 1/4 inch deep, but what do I know? So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to do it very carefully because I don't have a lot of seeds for this. So just very lightly on top of the soil. Each cell is only going to be able to get 1 because I don't have enough seeds to do any more than that. All right, I went back and gave each cell 2 seeds because I want to just get rid of them. So there's tray 1. All right, we will do this tray next. This is a mix of celosia, lupins, daisies, hollyhock, and coleus. So let's start with what I got on the top, some lupins. I have lupins down in my winter sowing jugs, but I also wanted to do it this way as well, just in case none of those worked down there, or in case, I don't know, I wanted more. I don't plan on using these for cut flowers. They're for my perennial gardens. But, whoops. Let's see, what does this say? 1/4 of an inch deep. So use my finger again. I'm just doing 6 of these because I think I'll probably end up with more. Okay. All right, now we've got daisies. They are called English daisies, double mixed color. I know nothing about them. I literally just saw the pack and thought that they were pretty. They need to go 1/4 of an inch deep. Again, I'm just doing 6 of these. Wow. Those seeds are teeny tiny. Teeny, teeny, tiny. You could make a whole field. That'd be kind of pretty, wouldn't it? If you went out and just, if you have like some open space and you just sprinkled them somewhere, that would be really gorgeous. I wonder how many. We'll try them out because I do have some spots around here that are very yucky. Like they just have a lot of brush, and I've been wanting to clean them out and maybe put some flowers. So I have to see how these do. Maybe that's a real option. Hollyhock. I have 2 types of hollyhock. Ford Hook Giants mixed. Of an inch deep. Stately mix of spikes bear 4-inch double blooms from June onward, perennial zone 4 to 8. I didn't used to like really tall, spiky flowers. I thought they were kind of ugly, but they've really started to speak to me recently. And so I'm gonna do this mix first. I'm gonna actually put 2 in each of these because there's room for it. see what colors come out of that. Generally speaking, from my understanding, hollyhock are biennial flowers, which means they're not going to bloom until the second year. But I thought that there were some varieties that do bloom the first year. So I'm not really sure what to expect from these things. And I don't really understand the blooming the second year thing either. Like, why wouldn't they just bloom the first year? I don't know. That's silly of me to think about it like that, but that's the way I think about it. So anyways, we'll give it a shot. I won't really know if I like them until next year, I guess. Oh well. And then these were this is a different variety, and these are the Nazareth Double Champagne. And I just thought that apricot color from Baker Creek was really pretty, so I grabbed them. We've got some coleus. Now this is a funny little story, okay? Rainbow coleus, mixed coleus. I planted this and alyssum last year right next to each other in packs, and I spilled them. No, I didn't. No, I put them in the same bag, folded over like this, thinking they were going to be okay. No, they all got mixed up. So when I do these seeds, I'm not actually sure if it's going to end up being coleus or if it's going to end up being alyssum. We will have to see what happens. It'll be a surprise. I mean, I'll be able to tell. There's a pretty big difference between a coleus plant and an alyssum plant. So I should be able to tell pretty quickly which one it is, and get a little sprinkle. I'm going to take those up and pop those up at some point into 4-inch pots. Okay, those do not like to be pushed in too far. They like to see the light. So I'm just going to lightly press them in. I'm going to put them into 4-inch pots later once they're a little more mature, because I think people on the roadside stand would really like them. Okay, one more tray to go. So we've got, I'm going to start with the marigolds. I have these Marigold Sunset Giants, mixed colors from Burpee. There are 300 seeds in here. It says early neat free blooming mixture. Yellow, gold, and orange shades, well doubled flowers makes an attractive display from mid-season to frost. About 26 inches tall. And they're huge. They're really big. And I like their foliage too is really nice to add to a bouquet. So about a 1/4 inch down. Now their suggestion is to direct sow it. I have done it like this for many, many years. Started them indoors. And so if it, you know, I'll sow some more if I need to. That'd be fine. They're funny looking little seeds because they look like sticks. I'm just putting them on the top right here, and then I'm going to push them down and cover them when I'm done. I'll show you the seed in a second. This also is one of those plants that would look really pretty just in a field by itself. You could just go out and sprinkle these because they do so well being direct sown. You just go out and sprinkle them and have a whole field of them. It'd be really pretty. Oh, I was going to show you the seed. Shoot. That is what the seed looks like. They look like little matchsticks, or almost. Kind of cute. Next is some parsley. I'm going to do 2 6-packs of these, and I'll plant them up again when they get a little bit bigger and put them into 4-inch pots. Some of them are for me and some of them are for the roadside stand. I'm going to plant just a few in each one. Those go 1/4 of an inch deep, so I'm going to push those down some. And last thing I have is celosia. This is the Pompous Plume I got this from M.I. Gardner, but you can get these in lots of places. These want to be planted an 1/8 of an inch deep, which means they want some sunlight. And these are going to go right into this greenhouse when they are big enough. Celosia really likes the heat, and so it should be a lot warmer in here during the summertime than out in the field. And so I had really beautiful blooms last year, but I did not have very tall plants. The flowers themselves were very pretty, and they were this exact variety. They were very pretty, but they weren't very tall, and I think that's because they didn't like how cool it was here. They would rather have it hotter. So each of these trays is going to get watered in, and it's going to get plastic wrap over the top that's going to act as a humidity dome. These are not going to stay in the greenhouse. It's too cold in here at night for them to do that. These are all plants that like warmer temperatures. So they are going to go down to the basement underneath the grow lights and on top of heat mats. And they'll come out, you know, in, I don't know, 6 weeks-ish or so to the greenhouse to get used to the outside temperature. So I have to get going because I need to get these started in water so I don't forget. I also need to go get a tarp and put a tarp outside because we are getting a delivery of topsoil this afternoon for the garden beds that are going right in this greenhouse. And I have to go pick my kids up from school. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. And until the next video, keep growing. Bye.